The All Things Nerd Podcast, Season 3, Episode 12. Tonight's topics, Bill and Ted 3. Also, we are breaking down the Stranger Things 3 trailer, reacting to it, talking about all the cool little 80s things that were nodded to in there. And lastly, we bid farewell to a series that really helped Malice Corp kind of kick off, and that is Supernatural. So with that, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Hello, all geek enthusiasts and nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 here with another All Things Nerd podcast, Season 3, Episode 12. We are back again. We are here to talk all things nerd, and we hope that you're here along on the ride to join us. And if you are, whether you're listening on Spotify or Stitcher or Google or even watching on YouTube, make sure that wherever you're at, you're hitting that subscribe button so that you can get any future podcasts that we have coming out as well. And drop a comment if you can. Drop a review if you can. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. This podcast is brought to you by Malice-Corp.com. That is our main website where you can catch many, many, many different casts, not just the All Things Nerd podcast. Head on over there. Click on in other media and podcasts and see what other things we have to offer for you so that you can keep the nerd trade going all the time. I am your host on this week's episode, Mess 5150. As always, here again. Also joining us on the show, we have Icy Zorro. How are you, sir?
I'm trying to figure out what the nerd train is now. It's dirty.
It goes, I don't even know the noise. What would be the noise for a nerd train?
Well, here's the question. How many chuggas is the question?
I have no idea.
It's 8. It's clearly 8. Anybody that answered anything other than 8 is wrong.
37.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's according to
37 is always the right answer.
No, 42 is the answer.
42, sorry, 42.
According to...
I got mixed up. I got 37 mixed up with 42. I don't know
anything, why. Like a random number like that, that is chaotic evil chuggas.
Oh, okay. Is 8. Okay. Chugga. Okay. Also,
it goes really... It's basically not a Batman.
Yes. Also on our cast, we have Super Hoovian Freak. How are you, Super?
It's been a long week, but overall it's pretty good. I mean, some good things, some bad things.
And Jack in our chat room says he could go for some chuggas. Jack is our producer. He is here live on Twitch to interact with you guys like we interact with you guys, but he actually responds to everything, whereas we just read off what you have to say and kind of respond. Yeah, that's unfortunate that it's been a rough week. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Super.
Hey, sometimes those weeks, they just happen.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, but that's why we get together, so that we can have some fun and talk about nerd and geek and pop culture stuff.
Yeah,
What about, lastly on the cast, we have Masonic Vader back, not being forced told that he couldn't be on podcast. Welcome back, sir.
Nah, it wasn't that I couldn't be, but it was a nice thing to actually do. It was fun. And I am very excited to be back. Just came the wrong week. Last week was my week, man. I had so much to talk about. Maybe we'll plug on later on.
There's a lot to talk about tonight, so
exactly.
Yeah. So we always like to start this cast out with what everybody's been geeking out on. I myself, the geek out continues for 3 weeks now. Supernatural still binging. I'm just about to start season 6, so I'm still moving through it pretty heavily.
You'll have to let me know what you think. I like season 6 personally.
Well, the thing about it, and welcome Polyfuse into the chat room. Talking about picking on the cast. That's what you guys are all here for, is to pick on us so we can have some fun. The thing about it is, last week I talked about where I was waiting for Castiel to finally become likable, and it was season 5 is, I think, where it finally hits, where he does actually become likable.
So. For me, it was the episode in season 4. I want to say episode 18. The monster at the end of this book, when he gives Dean the loophole, and he's not outright telling him, like, you need to take this disgusting little prophet man, and you need to throw him in the room because then the wrath of heaven will reign. But it's like, hey, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And
it was a cool thing that way, but I mean, it's not until mid season 5 where he really gets into being his own person,
his own, exactly.
Getting pissed at Dean, where it's like, I gave up everything and you're just going to you're going to
sell yourself out. Yeah.
That when he starts during the famine getting drunk and eating, and that's when it's like, okay, now I'm digging on this character. So
there's some great behind the scenes stuff I'll send you later from that episode where he's eating the hamburger, and it leads to some great riff-offs. And I don't know if I've sent it to you, IC, but if I haven't, I'm going to send it to you because it's still...
Send it again.
10 years later, it's still to this day one of the greatest questions ever asked at a convention. And I'll send that to you later. It's hilarious.
Jack asks, and we'll follow this into what you've been geeking out on, Vader, but Jack wants to know, what season of our cast will Vader become more likable?
Man.
Vader has nothing to say.
No, I'm just gonna drink my Duff.
Crickets.
Enjoy. Not sponsored.
I never noticed how many crickets were around here.
Well, anytime it's a cricket, all you got to do is this. Vader, what have you been geeking out on?
You know what? It has been a slow geek week. Other than seeing the Avengers trailer last week, it was awesome to see it. Even more awesome was the re-edited Deadpool version, and yeah, and interesting to see what happens with the 21 with the Fox deal going through and seeing what's going to happen with the characters. There was a cool little family tree, I guess, I saw earlier today with all the characters that are now coming over to the Marvel universe again from that. And it's there's a lot of stuff out there about, revitalizing stuff and bringing people back, aka Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. So we'll see.
Yeah, there was something that Super linked in our writers chat. EW had a link to an image. It was a big Venn diagram showing where all the different characters exist now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was the one. Yeah, that was it. So it'll be fun. It'll be very interesting to see how things move along.
And if you want to see that story and that link, we'll drop it in the Facebook group. So facebook.com/groups/ all things nerd podcast. So you can come join us over there and talk about nerd stuff anytime, all the time. Drop gifts, drop memes, just have some fun over there. But we'll drop that article there. So if you want to see that. But yeah, Super, what about you? What have you been geeking out on?
A little bit of books. I just finished one of the other books that I bought, the continuation of my In-Death series. So another really good installment. Something that they did in this book that I found fascinating. Let me grab it here.
So what was this one? Connections in Death, I think?
Yeah, Connections in Death. So what they did is they literally, if you can see it, it's a map of Manhattan and downtown Manhattan. Each of the red X's that they're showing is where each murder was committed. And then they have a little paw print where they show that the house of the main characters. So you can see, spanning, 49 books now, where in New York these are all taking place. And this is the inside cover of the book. Sorry, I know it's really crappy. I have a crappy camera, but
so basically it shows me that in 2050, whatever, the NYPD does not have individual divisions anymore.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the little red X's. So I thought that was really cool that they're starting to do that now. Sometimes the back of the books have posters. There was a crossword puzzle that I got sent, connect the dots to, yeah, that was pretty awesome. And then I also finally caught up on season 6 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is an amazing show.
That's cool. Yeah, and then if you add little dots going from like X to X, then you can have like the whole trail of the family circus going everywhere.
No, it makes a giraffe. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was not me. Yeah.
Jack has been only really nerding out on Warhammer novels and Dungeons and Dragons, working on some characters and dropping the mic. Yeah.
I will. Can I throw something in there? I totally forgot one thing. I started seeing this show the other day. It's on. I want to say it's on History. It's called Project Blue Book. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
Mm-mm.
For anybody who's an X-Files fan, I suggest you watch it only because it is literally kind of like following the same thing where you have a scientist and in a situation where it's not Mulder, or well, bottom line, it's a army captain and a scientist who get teamed up together at the beginning of when UFOs are starting to come around. So it's like the early days of the X-Files in a sense, and it's a really interesting show. They have the guy who plays the brothel manager from Game of Thrones. He's in there as the scientist, and there's a lot of great casting in there. And it's just interesting. And the cool thing about it is that all these shows are based off of files and notes and everything that was done by the scientist, actual files done. So it's based off his account and everything. So it's called Project Blue Book. I think they might be in their second season maybe, but it's a good show to check out.
Sounds cool. And to reiterate what Jack was saying about drop mics, is he's saying to come into the Facebook group and drop mics over at facebook.com/group/all things nerd podcast. Or you can even look us up on Discord. There is a Malice Corp server, and come drop mics there and talk anytime, all the time, 24 hours a day there. So if somebody's awake, they'll interact with you. And lastly, Icy Thor, what have you been geeking out on?
I don't want to straight up steal another podcast bit, but watching, reading, and playing are the main three things we talk about. I think they call that rap on this other podcast. Anyway, I've been watching all the stuff. I was catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. I had several of those. Catching up on Suits, which is still a fantastic show, even with two of the main characters missing. And did you guys know that Danger just got fun?
Danger?
Whiskey Cavalier. I watched like the first 4 episodes. It's exactly what you expect it to be. It's a comedy procedural with sexual tension between the two leads, and it's okay. I'm mainly just watching it at this point because I like Lauren Cohan. Reading, I just started a book. Well, I'm a little more than halfway through a book called Winter World. It's about there's alien artifacts coming from we don't know where, and they're really interfering with solar radiation getting to the planet. So the whole planet's starting to freeze. And a bunch of like the smartest people in the world get sent on this massive space mission to go discover what the hell's going on. I'm about halfway through the book, and there's only 2 survivors so far, and they're headed back to Earth. They just found out that the whole thing is freaking frozen. So that's interesting so far. And I'm playing, I just played through the entire Lego Batman 2 game. Because
You nerd.
I love those games. I listen to podcasts while I'm playing, and I don't have to think about them.
A bearded master was summoned into the chat room by bringing up Brooklyn Nine-Nine with a very yelling loud 9-9 in the chat room. And what always happens whenever we get onto something is Jack Malice, our producer, starts bringing the true to fact trivia facts in the chat room. That's why you guys should be here live on Twitch to listen or to watch and to interact. He says Project Blue Book was the name of an actual government project to investigate UFOs. Thank you for the fact. And then he said it was started in 1952 by the Air Force. Once again, thank you for the fact. So our fact checker is in the chat room. So
I'm just picturing the comic book guy from The Simpsons. Well, actually, Darth Maul was never mind.
Okay, yeah. So that's it. That's what we've been geeking out on. As always, let us know what you guys have been geeking out on, and we'll keep the geek talk going whenever. But let's get into what we're actually here for. We are here for the nerd news. First, the first story to get into to talk about is one that we have talked about many of times. We've talked about it in the factor of like what other old movies that we loved that were cult classics would we like to see get sequels and different things. And I think this is probably the upteenth time we've talked about this, but we're talking
Lost
about
Boys with an actual undead Corey Haim.
Yeah. You brought that up in a few podcasts ago.
Have I now?
Yes.
Man.
Rehashing jokes, I see. Good job. So what we're talking about now is that the factor that there's an actual full-on green light. It is a go. Bill and Ted 3 is happening. It was announced on a video on Instagram. Keanu Reeves and
Alex Winter,
in front of the Hollywood Bowl, announced that it is a go, that it is greenlit, that Bill and Ted Face the Music is coming. So
with the original writers.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's
Face
what
music. So ominous.
well, how old are they now?
And I hope no CGI Carlin. No CGI Carlin.
No, because what was said in the past for Carlin was that if it did happen, that it would be, a touching way of him in there, but they're not going to replace him.
Maybe use his daughter.
That'd be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, some of the comments, the whole trajectory of getting the next one off the ground has been pretty much exactly like the experience of getting the original, going to every studio, and they're like, what the F is this? And this kind of independent spirit, and the films have an anachronistic quality to them. That's a big part of what they are. Fundamentally, I'm really happy this one is the same. It doesn't feel like some stale knockoff that a studio would have immediately gone, oh, this feels right. We have rebranded very successfully, is one of the things that Winter said about getting this made. But yeah, they're bringing in the original writers to write it. And,
Always a good start.
We had some of the, so we got the official release date. It's going to be August 21st, 2020 is when it'll come out. Orion Pictures is going to be releasing it through United Artists. And it's going to be directed by, this is kind of cool, Dean Parasot, who directed Galaxy Quest. So
that's encouraging.
Very encouraging.
Very second good start.
Yeah. So
you're lining up the bricks in the right order. Keep going.
It sounds like it. And then of course they're going to be bringing in like rock legend idols to appear in this one and stuff, because this one isn't traveling through time to grab historical figures.
Are they going to actually get Eddie Van Halen?
I would think they would. I mean, if they,
that would be rad.
As long as they don't get his son, he's good on the guitar, but he's just not the same. He shouldn't.
Not a very photogenic guy at this point.
No. But what do you guys think? I mean, is this excitement that like, hey, finally we can get some stuff that we've wanted to see come to fruition happen?
I definitely like it, and I like it because of the fact that it allows Keanu Reeves to kind of go back to starting point again, because he's done so many action films and stuff lately that I do kind of miss that lightheartedness that you see him in the movies. I mean, I mentioned this in the pre-show. They do this announcement, and yet the only thing I could see right now is John Wick. So it'll be nice to see him.
Beard. It's always gonna. He's smiling, man.
Oh
he's smiling
man!
In the video.
And he keeps on doing that. He keeps on doing the Ted thing with his hands, where he's like, "Yeah."
I get it, but visually though, it's John Wick right now. I mean, that's what it is, especially after seeing the trailer.
Doing a Bill and Ted cosplay.
Yeah. So, but I'm excited because I want to see Keanu Reeves go in a more lighthearted, a fun, because I've always enjoyed Bill and Ted's. Even the second movie, as much as I still like watching Bill and Ted. It's classic. I love it.
With the John Wick thing, I want that writer somewhere towards the beginning of the movie to have Ted Logan have a puppy, and it goes missing for about 30 seconds, and you just see a John Wick look in his eyes.
A Bearded Master says in the chat room, was already announced it was being done. We just have a release date-ish, August 2020. Now, it was announced that they were on board to get it done. This video is where they say, hey, we've had this on again, off again, but this is the official, like, we finally got the full green light. It is happening. So that's why it was big news, because everything before was just everybody going, yeah, we want to do it. Yeah, it seems cool. Yeah, if we get the backing, we'll do it. This is them
saying we're filming this summer.
Yeah. So that's why we wanted to bring this up, because we've been following this story for so long that wanted to get the big payoff on it.
I want to make sure this movie doesn't have station, even though Jack is chanting station in the chat.
Well, excuse me. It's exciting for me because I was so young. I was only 7 when Bill and Ted 2 came out. So I saw them later in life, and they were enjoyable, but I didn't get into that hype. Like, I didn't get to experience, the releases and the cult classicness of it. They were just movies that I saw that
makes
out.
the cult classic of it is that if you had to watch it at a later time and
I loved it, but to be a part of it now, to get to that excitement level of, oh my God, there's a new one coming. I get to be a part of this one. I get to see it all leading up instead of going and just being movies that I watched. It's super exciting. Plus, my first role for Keanu was The Replacements, which was an amazing movie. Don't get me wrong. So it's nice to go and get to actually see him in a release in the theater doing what made him famous.
You know what's going to be surreal about that movie is if they do bring everyone back, if they bring back Bill's mom, Missy.
Yeah. Well, because she was the stepmom for Bill. No, Bill in the first one and Ted in the second one. I want to see who she's with in the third one.
Well, the nostalgia factor kicked in really big with when it first was said, even proposed, like a Bill and Ted 3 was. Everybody was like, "Oh, that'd be so awesome!" And remember, this is what I think I brought up at the very beginning was, while everybody's excited about it, 2 bombed in the theaters, and everybody was after 2 was like, we don't need any more. Like, don't do any more. But now it's just that nostalgia that has grown and grown, and there's elements of 2 that are fantastic. And
I really like 2 still.
I love Death in 2. So
am I right on saying that Bill or number 2 was actually not by the same exact from the same writers as number 1? And to me, I think I remember it being forced because they really wanted to try to capitalize off
the studio wanted to do it. Yeah, the studio really wanted to get it done because the first one had done so well, and they didn't expect it to do as well as it did. So Polyfuse brings up, holy crap, 30 years for the first Bill and Ted.
same
I was
exact writers.
5, y'all, when the first Bill and Ted came out. I was 5 and very much into He-Man and She-Ra. I did not know what Bill and Ted was.
Who remembers the Bill and Ted cartoon?
I remember it.
Not me.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Very vaguely.
It was on air right around the same time as the Alf cartoon, right?
It was like 1990-ish.
There was an Alf cartoon?
There was an
Alf cartoon. Yes.
It was set on the planet Melmac. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where Gordon Shumway had his own personal life. There was a Back to the Future cartoon as well.
Yep.
Yes,
that one did not last very long.
That one I do remember, and I remember watching an episode and going, "Hey, I think I have the movie over here." Let's watch
and Doc Brown's kids were in the cartoon as well. And
Jack has answered the question of who Missy's going to be with in the upcoming movie. Bill's mom. That's about perfect.
That would be funny. That'd be hilarious. Okay,
I think it would actually be hilarious if she actually married one of either Bill or Ted. I mean, there's no blood there, It's not Kentucky or anything.
Polyfuse makes one very clear thing is that all he knows is the soundtrack to the new Bill and Ted movie had better be amazing. And based off of what they've figured out with soundtracks and previous movies like Guardians of the Galaxy coming out with older songs to create an epic soundtrack, I really think
Mix Volume 1.
Yeah, I think that they'll come out with some just great heavy metal, old school rock like mix that'll be fantastic to have.
Yeah, the soundtrack to the first one was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I still catch myself looking it up and listening to some of it. It's great.
I still put some of that stuff on at work when we're opening up in the morning.
Jack's response.
Amazing.
Well, if the Wild Stallions make the music, it has to be epic.
Epic.
I don't think you can just say Wild Stallions just calmly. You have to say Wild Stallions.
And welcome Pilot Raptor 22 into the chat room. With Pilot Raptor coming in, I want to get on to the next thing I was going to do with this, talking about the nostalgia and like how much people embraced Bill and Ted and loved Bill and Ted. I want to know how well you know Bill and Ted. So it's time for a little bit of a game, and you guys can play at home as well. It's going to be going.
You guys tried to do trivia without me a couple weeks ago, and it didn't work. So
and this time Masonic Vader can't complain that Super gets all the easy questions because, as you know now, she was 7 when the second one came out, and so it's not as fresh to her.
I already
Out of
see it in
breath.
her. I already see it in her eyes. She's already pulling up Google. I see it right now. I totally see it.
I have
hands in view the whole time.
I have 2 trivia quizzes that I came across, and they are both on funtrivia.com. One is classified as challenging, and one is like really hard. The challenging one I did okay on. I think I only missed 1 question on it. The really hard one, it's hard. So we're gonna go through these, and I'm gonna go question by question with each person, and
Well, hold on, let me grab my thinking glass.
you can answer or get it wrong. And then if you answer without any multiple choice, you will get 2 points. If you answer with multiple choice, we'll give you 1 point. And if you don't get the answer, you get 0. So based off of my screen, I don't know if it's different on other people's, but I'm going based off of my screen. So Icy Zoro will be first. Masonic Vader will be second. Super will be third. So Icy, first question for you on starting with the easy one. Bill and Ted's history teacher assigned a report in which they had to describe how certain historical figures would act in present-day situations. What was the name of the teacher who assigned the report to the class? And I can give you, if you don't want to go for 2, I can give you the multiple choice.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to need the multiple choice on that one. I can picture the guy in my head. And I
We
can
have,
saying, it seems to me all you've learned that Caesar was the salad dressing dude.
we have Mr. Ryan, Mr. Stevenson.
It's Mr. Ryan.
Mr. Ryan. And I believe that's correct. Let me double check. It is Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan was played by Bernie Casey, who also played such memorable characters as Colonel Rumbus in Spies Like Us, Ewan Jefferson in Revenge of the Nerds, and John Slade in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yes.
These are little quotes from the answers on the
Nice.
quiz. So, Masonic, you're up next. And you get the easiest question in the world, so I don't even want to hear your complaints about people getting the softball. What was Bill's new mom's first name?
Missy. Yes.
You remember when she was a senior and we were freshmen? Shut up. Remember what I asked her? Mom? Shut up,
That's
Ted.
actually what's posted here. Thanks, Missy. I mean, Mom. Missy married Bill's dad soon after she graduated from high school. She was a senior when Bill and Ted were freshmen. Bill could never get used to calling her mom. Bill also had what he described as just a slight, I hate this word, Oedipal complex. Oedipal complex.
Dude,
Yeah.
your stepmom's hot.
Shut up, Ted.
All right, Super, on to you. According to Ted, who had wooden teeth and chased Moby Dick? If you need choices.
Yeah, go ahead and give me multiple choice.
We've got George Washington, Julius Caesar, Jacques Cousteau, or
I
Eric
guess
Duret.
George Washington. He was the only person I could think of that had wooden teeth. So
Yeah, and that's why he answered it that way, because that was the only thing he knew was about the wooden teeth. But he didn't chase Moby Dick. But that is
no, he
correct.
did not.
Yeah.
he
And he didn't really have
but
wooden teeth either.
He never
Yeah.
pursued the great white whale.
It was. Ted said
There you
this.
go.
when he
Wait,
began
already
working on-
in there. Jack's
When we-
already going in and correcting us on the
No,
wooden
he
teeth there. Thank you,
but-
sir.
The myth is that he had wooden teeth. So when
Yeah.
you hear wooden teeth, you think wooden dentures. I know how Washington got his teeth for his dentures. Believe me, that's not something we need to go into on cast.
Yeah, they the thing to this is Ted said this when they just began working on their history report. Bill told him, "That's Captain Ahab, dude." Ted asked Bill, "Have you ever made a mushroom out of his head?" The only thing they knew about Caesar was that he was a salad dressing dude. So right now we're at 1-2-1. Back to you, IC, and you get the super easy one as well. Finish the quote. Strange things are afoot.
At the Circle K.
Yes.
Nice.
Which, growing up in the Midwest, I had no idea what the hell a Circle K was.
On to you, Ken. After they took Napoleon back to San Dimas, who became the first historical figure Bill and Ted took with them in the phone booth.
Oh man. It would be oh man.
You want multiple? You want multiple?
Yeah, I'll take multiple, yeah.
All right, yeah, because dead air is not good for a podcast.
Ah,
Billy
that's why I
the
was
Kid,
talking Lily.
Billy the Kid, Abraham Lincoln, Sigmund Freud, or Socrates.
Socrates.
I don't believe
Freud?
It was Billy the Kid.
I'm pretty sure
Dang
it's Billy
it,
the
that's
Kid. Yeah.
right.
All right.
It would've been
Billy
fun,
the
though.
Kid, then Billy Kid, then Socrates, then Freud, then Lincoln, then Genghis.
I don't remember exactly. Super. What did Bill and Ted use to coax Genghis Khan into the phone booth?
Do you mean coerce?
Yes.
Coerce. Yeah.
COAX. Is that how you spell coerce? That's not how you spell coerce, is it?
Coax.
Coax.
That is, is that how you spell coax? I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
All right, so what
It is.
object did they use? I don't know. Give me multiple choice because
You
it's
got
been years.
Penthouse magazine, gold ring, or disposable camera.
Penthouse magazine?
That is not correct. It is
I
Twinkie.
didn't think so.
Twinkie.
Oh, the Twinkie. I didn't hear the Twinkie. Sorry, I was talking. My bad.
Back to IC. How did they
Yep.
trick Abraham Lincoln into opening the door to the Oval Office? If you need multiple choice, let me know.
Yep. Do the multiple choice.
Billy the Kid dropped a snake in the window. Bill pretended he was Mrs. Lincoln. Candygram. Ted pulled the fire
Bill
alarm.
pretended he was Mrs. Lincoln.
No, it was Candygram.
What?
Candygram.
Oh,
Masonic. Which historical figure totally ravaged Oshman's sporting goods?
That would be Joan of Arc.
nope.
Nope.
Oh, no, it's Genghis Khan.
Too late. You
Damn
already
it.
answered.
Yeah,
With the aluminum bat, and he just starts.
that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super. This is not a multiple choice question. You just get a hint if you need it. But what was the name of the water park where the guys finally found Napoleon after Deacon ditched him?
Oh crap! I don't remember.
And Jack got mad at you
I'll go
last.
for the steal. I'll go for the steal.
Just
No, still. Do you need the hint?
Yeah, go ahead and give me the hint.
It's one word. His last hurrah.
Oh, go ahead.
the
Come
battle
on.
where he lost
I
everything.
haven't seen the movie in 12 years. I don't
What is
remember.
Napoleon's last hurrah?
Was-
History.
Napoleon's great defeat.
Bill and Ted's Last Stand. Sorry. Oh,
No.
Waterloo.
Yes. It's Waterloo.
I didn't know you
I'm
meant
still not giving you the point.
If I were
Yeah.
Napoleon lost in San Dimas in 1989, where would I go?
Yeah.
Waterloo.
I see. Which historical figure was called a geek by the young girl in the mall?
Freud.
That is correct.
And he's got the little thing with the corn dog. Every time they make fun of him, the corn dog lowers.
Back to the softball for Masonic. The bartender never asked Bill and Ted for proof of age when they went into the Old West Saloon and asked for 2 bears. True or false?
They never asked. True.
Yes. Like I said, you got the softball there. This is the question they had, and this is the easy one. Super. Why did Bill and Ted decide to bring Sigmund Freud back to San Dimas with them?
A reason?
You want the choices?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got maybe he could work with Mr. Ryan. Ted was in dire need of head shrinking to help Genghis Khan's psychotic outburst to a minimum, or extra credit.
I say Genghis Khan.
It was extra credit.
Extra credit.
Extra
You
credit.
didn't have to bring him back.
This is what
Because
happens
Ted
when-
forgot to wind his watch, so they thought they had a lot of time left.
Yeah.
And now
Back
IC
for
gets
extra
a
credit.
IC gets a softball. Bill, come on, Ted. This is a history report, but not a babe report. Ted's response, but Bill, those are blank babes.
Historical babes.
Yes. Which member of the for Masonic? Which member of the Go-Go's portrayed Joan of Arc in the movie?
Oh man, that's the lead singer. I can't think of her name.
That's a rough.
Susanna Hoff. Susanna Hoff.
She was not in the Go-Go. She was in the
That was
Bengals.
the Bengals.
Oh dang it! Yeah, wrong group. Damn it.
Who can I steal?
No. But it had Waterloo well before you even thought about it.
Good.
And it was Jane Weedlin was the one that
Yeah,
That-
that definitely wasn't Belinda. I'll tell you
wasn't
that.
no.
Don't know the members of the Go-Go's all that well.
I only knew Belinda, so yeah, there you go.
And super, when Bill and Ted introduced the historical figures to Bill's new mom, who was the only figure referred to by his true first and last name?
Probably Abraham Lincoln.
That is correct.
That is correct.
So you and Ken tied, and Ian blew you guys out of the water.
Yes.
I'm not going to go on to the second one because that took a little bit of time. So, but yeah, a little bit of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it listening.
Makes me want to go back and rewatch the movies again.
Exactly. But that's what we like to do here is flip things on their heads every once in a while and have a little bit of fun. So, Polly, I bet if there were Barney questions, they'd be rocking this.
No.
He's purple. He's a dinosaur, and he loves to give hugs.
Yeah.
I think he had a sidekick that was yellow.
I think she was
Maybe?
a Triceratops.
She was a Triceratops.
Maybe she was a Triceratops. That's about all I remember.
I love Polly's comment. Here's a great question about the new Bill and Ted. How are they going to travel in time when there's no more phone booths?
Well, to be fair, Doctor Who does it with a police call box, and nobody's seen one of those since 1963.
Yeah. They'll figure out something. They'll do some joke referring to it. I don't know. But yeah, let's move on to our next major story. The next major story is Stranger Things 3. Got a trailer. And we got a full trailer. It wasn't a teaser or anything. July 4th is when the new episodes start. As always, that we'd like to do with the trailers because we just love how in-depth and explanation she gets with it. Super. What happened in the Stranger Things 3 trailer?
Let me just say, I've never empathized with Dustin more. Every time I need to kill a spider, that is always where I find the spiders. When I have an aerosol can in my hand and it's just, that's me. Second, what the hell were they thinking? Throwing a surprise party, sneaking up on someone, making toys all come to life. You've literally been through like hell. You've been to the Never Never, or the Upside Down, excuse me, wrong show. You're like, you've all been terrorized, and you're gonna sneak up and blow party poppers on someone's back.
To be fair, if I had telekinesis, I would be doing that stuff all the time.
I would too, but you straight up deserved that shot of aerosol to the face. That one.
That was a really the most disturbing. The most
Yeah.
disturbing part of that was just his teeth.
Anything else happened in the trailer, Super?
Oh God, yeah. So you can tell that they're growing up. The kids, you know, the line in there, we're not kids anymore.
They hit puberty.
They hit
Yeah.
puberty.
Mike is now as tall as Vader.
I kind of got the feeling this trailer was from Dustin's point of view. He's kind of on the outside a little bit. Everyone else is growing up. Everyone else is kind of moving on, and you got him that's kind of, you know, stuck on the fringes. He still wants to game. He still wants to be the little nerd that he always was, and he kind of has no one to hang out with. So he's hanging out with, I want to say Steve.
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 Yeah.
So he's hanging out with Steve, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It felt like he just got back from camp. He's wearing like
Yeah.
camp gear.
Yeah. So
But
he
has a
was
shirt that
definitely-
says camp.
He was
Yeah.
definitely in a nerd camp because it's got microscopes and everything all over the
Yeah.
shirt.
Science camp, basically.
Yeah, he got back from science camp. So that was the big scene at the beginning, was the whole setup of everybody tricking him and then having fun at his expense, playing a practical joke with making robots move from 11 and him freaking out like there's monsters coming again. But this one takes place in 1985, so there is definitely a time jump here. Lots of stuff going on in the mall. That's what's going on in this episode. This season. There's lots of stuff in the mall, and there's lots of stuff, at least in this trailer, that take place at a July 4th celebration fair.
Yeah. Where the mayor is the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yes.
It was okay. I saw that and it was so brief, and I was like, "Oh, was that Carrie Elwes? Was that Carrie Elwes?"
We talked about this
So
in a previous episode that Carrie Elwes was going to be on this, as well as
Gary Busey or Busey's
Busey's
kid.
kid, yeah.
Jake Busey, and we made predictions as to which one's dying based off of their names. I believe it was Jake Busey's character that's for sure dying because it started with a B as well, just like Bob and Barb. That's the thing with Jake Busey. Jake Busey plays this nasty reporter, and we see that two of the kids are focusing on going to follow their reporter routes that they got kind of set up in season 2, sitting in the news office, looking like maybe they're trying to get an internship or a job. Maybe, who knows? But the biggest one was it Bill? Is that the character's name? The brother, the kind of douchebag.
Was that Bill? I thought
I think it's Billy.
Billy.
I mean, the one that
Jonathan. It's Jonathan. Jonathan Byers.
Yeah.
No.
You're talking about Will's older brother?
No,
Oh,
she's talking about
the lifeguard guy.
younger brother of the kid,
Yeah,
the really
yeah.
violent guy.
I think it's Billy.
Billy Hargrove, yeah.
Yeah, Billy. Billy was the biggest thing with this thing, because you see something growing in Billy's arm while he's in the shower. Now, before I get into thoughts and theories based off of what we saw there, what did you guys think of the trailer?
To me personally, it's just, there was a lot of things from my childhood. Anything from Star Wars to I don't know. I got the impression at the end when they were fake sword fighting, the Star Wars sword fighting. I can't think of his name, but the older guy who was like, how many kids you play with? His costume or his work. Yeah, but the guy, that was the guy. They were fake sword fighting.
Steve,
and he was like, blah, yeah. His costume looked like Judge Reinhold's from freaking God, what was the movie in '80? No. The
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes, thank you very much. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And you're watching this and you're just seeing all these little things of the 80s, and seeing Eleven's face for the first time, it looked like going into a mall. That was kind of cool to just kind of see all the small things.
Well, just seeing 11 dressed up in all those floral print 80s shirts and stuff was great. That was
with long hair.
Hold on just a second
here,
here, because there's I've got one over here. Can you see that picture when I'm talking right there? That is gorgeous. That is a straight up mid 80s glamour shot.
It is
fantastic.
It so is. It's amazing, and I love them for doing that.
So many patterns.
Well, I don't know if anyone else saw it, but this trailer very much felt like the adults weren't in it as much. It came from the point of view of the kids, because we only really saw one scene of Will's mom eating, and I think we saw a brief second of the sheriff sitting down in a diner.
Actually, there's a couple scenes of his. He had a couple scenes in there.
Yeah, he did have a couple scenes. Okay, yeah. I missed the second one.
The misleading part about the trailer is, you're right. It seemed more focused on the kids. However, when you watch the trailer, it seemed like there was a lot more stuff going on with some of the adults. So you have Busey's character, who looked like he was doing something. I don't know, if shooting a gun or something like that. You obviously have the mayor, Carrie Elwes, coming right out.
And then, clearly, because they're protesting against the mayor.
Yeah.
With protest signs.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening, and it's good that all those characters are still there, because I think that's what really makes Stranger Things unique, is that the characters themselves. You don't see anybody getting changed or somebody else. It's the same person. It seems like they made the perfect casting call when they found all these people to make the show happen, and they're all still coming back, and they're working with the age.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So theories wise, going off this trailer, some of the things that people were catching, we want to talk about the adults. What it looks like with the adults is just coming to terms with the factor that their kids are starting to grow up. That's why the mother is sitting off on her own. It's like they're hitting puberty. They're getting into that, that next step. Yep. The sheriff is clearly trying to mingle. He's trying to mingle. Is what we're getting. Jack brought up that he's too busy making Hellboy movies right now.
By the way, Jake Busey's character's name is Bruce, so he's definitely gonna die.
Yeah, B starts with a B. So that's what we were. Yeah, so he's definitely anybody that starts with a B that comes on for a minimum role is going to become the new dead person on Stranger Things.
The red shirt in Star Trek.
Yep, that's what we figured. We cracked the code with this. I mean, Barb and Bob, Bruce is going to definitely be the next, and it goes in an actual alphabetical order as well.
We should get an invite to opening night. Dang it.
The next one, his name's going to be Bubba, right?
Or they're going to start moving on to C's at that point. I don't know. But the really cool things that we got in the trailer that is the more kind of questionable, like what's going on. You saw a little bit of 11 in the world that she goes into in her mind, and things aren't going very well there. It looks like she's being drowned into a bathtub. Questionable there. I think that there's going to be more powered children showing up, and maybe there's going to be more fights happening amongst that factor.
piggybacking off of, because she hooked up with those kids. That one episode, they had that one episode with those special kids that she hooked up with, and then they just poofed and vanished. So I have a feeling they'll be back.
Yeah, there's going to be more introduced for sure. The other thing as well is whatever the heck is doing that explosion / electrical blow up storm
on the beach. That was awesome seeing. Yeah,
just toasts everybody that's in that's in actual like radiation suits. I could not figure that out. Even freeze framing could not figure that out at all. With
the red lightning, because it seemed like the upside down was encroaching on the real world.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
That's what people are thinking is the mind flayer
on the beach.
They think the mind flayer is coming into the real world. Is what a big theory is.
Yeah.
Which to that aspect, a lot of people also think we're going to get like a zombie kind of thing, because there was freeze frames of very dead-faced characters just standing next to each other, just staring. So it looked like that, like zombie.
Well, do you think zombie or do you think mind control?
Well, there's an episode called Bite, and I believe there's one called Rats. So kind of creating a plague.
Our producer thinks the Arrowverse is coming into Stranger Things because it's a Flash.
I would not be opposed if Grant Gustin wanted to come guest star in Stranger Things. I love that dude.
Because of where the show takes place time-wise, Polyfuse says the Stranger Thing kids are going to be spending a lot of alone time when they see Christina Applegate in 2 years on Married with Children.
Nice.
If you're old enough to get the joke, then good. If not,
yes,
don't worry about it. But no, the big one, the one that I saw theory-wise, and I 100% agree with, the creature at the end, the big creature. Any ideas what that is?
2 CGI.
CGI. I don't care about that. Do you have any idea what you think it is?
It's the upside down version of Aslan.
I think it's Billy.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're going off with the little thing that was on his arm, right?
Yep, and it's in a hallway of a hospital. They said that they could see it's in a hospital, so it's clearly somebody within that was checked into the hospital.
Yeah.
I think it's Billy.
That's a good.
Well, there's episode 3 is titled "The Case of the Missing Lifeguard."
Mm-hmm.
Billy's the lifeguard, so
yep.
Yeah,
and you have the bite, and you have so. Yeah,
Spoiler alert! Too late. Spoiler alert!
This can't be a spoiler alert.
It's episode titles. Yeah,
it's episode titles and its theories. It can't be a spoiler alert. It's not out yet. I haven't watched it. I can't be 100% correct about this. It could be Bob coming back from the dead for all we know.
That would be awesome.
Wild stallions.
I did a little short to piggyback off last week. Give me a short of Barb's ghost haunting Nancy for leaving her in the pool.
Yeah.
Just mother henning her all the time.
That
guy, are you?
Nag.
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you freaking kids.
This is the best thing about a series like this, Stranger Things, when it's such a great series, but it's all new content. When you make theories about things, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where it's going or anything. It's not picking off of something else. But to have it be that good of a series and that good of a trailer that you still want to dive in and try and see if you can figure something out before it happens or before it's going on, that speaks volumes. And nobody expected a Stranger Things trailer to drop this week. It just it was there.
And let's be honest, I'm in my late 30s. I don't care about going to see fireworks anymore. I'm just gonna binge Stranger Things on July 4th.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe that monster was Sean Austin's character coming back. Oh.
That's what said Bob.
That's what he said like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. That's weird.
It was Barb. Wait.
Did you take your nap today?
I did not. I've had enough of the liquid refreshment. Thank you very much.
Jack, you are spot on. Jack's theory is strange things are going to happen.
I disagree.
Yes.
Stranger things are going to happen.
3 times the amount of Stranger Things are going to happen.
Let us know what your thoughts and theories are based off of season 3's trailer of Stranger Things before it starts airing on July 4th. Hit us up on Twitter at All Nerd Podcast. And the last thing we were going to talk about today came out today right before the cast, so we bumped a story. The story that we bumped was Hellboy Day is tomorrow. So if you check out your local comic shop, see if they're participating. They have some really cool things going on at the comic shops, getting some giveaways. Los Angeles was the closest to me, but they have like bookmarks that look like the Hand of Doom and Hellboy tattoos and just all different types of stuff. So check it out, March 23rd. Hellboy Day. It's the 25th anniversary of the very first comic featuring Hellboy coming out. That's how old Hellboy is. But what we bumped it for was a TV show that really kind of helped our website take off. One of the things was Doctor Who was getting, why am I blanking? Name. Super.
I like turtles.
No, not turtles.
Barrowman. Sorry, I was muted.
John Barrowman, yes, John Barrowman, to tweet us out and talk and help us out with the nerd fight, and that took our website to getting noticed. But the next kick after that was the character that plays Ketch on Supernatural also noticed us, made a good little back and forth business relationship with Super over Twitter, and that got us noticed as well. And Supernatural really, really helped us meet a lot of new people on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, a lot of really, really cool people. Well, it was announced today on Jared Padalecki's Instagram that next season, season 15, will be the final season of Supernatural. Yeah. It was kind of they weren't crying, but they were talking about there was going to be a lot of tears. It was Jared, Jensen.
They cried off camera.
Oh, I'm sure they were. You could see.
You could see it in their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Misha all on camera talking about it, and they said they're going to save the emotion for season 15 and have a big send off.
Yeah,
my thinking on it, they just hit 300 episodes, which we talked about being an amazing thing. I really would have liked to see them push for that 365 just to be another series. Gets there, so you have
we all thought it was going to do that. I'm not going to lie.
But what do we think? Is it time? Is it time to give a chance for them to do other things? No. Yes.
Yes and no. Yes, when something's been on the air that long, you can always say it's time. But when you have something that good, that strong, that dedicated, you have to sit back and wonder, is it really worth giving up? So maybe in that case, not time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that can be very, very hard to walk away from. I didn't hide my emotions. I'm not going to lie. I was in the middle of freaking FedEx going to print out my tickets for the convention, my things that they have to scan and stuff. And I get these tweets come in and I lost it in a FedEx. And I'm not going to lie, those poor FedEx people thought I just got a death knell. They were like, do you want us to give us your stuff for free? And I was like, no. And they were like, please just take everything for free and leave because you're freaking us out right now.
Wow.
They had no idea what was going on. They literally thought like I got a death announcement over my phone. I missed part number 2.
You technically did, but
Do you think it's weird them announcing it now? Right before VegasCon weekend? I mean, that's kind of because that's going to make that weekend really interesting.
I know. Well, it's the biggest convention that they do. So it's like, why are you doing this now?
Now you're just it's going to be but Vegas does not mix well with a lot of weepy, crying people because there's too much alcohol to go around to create even more.
It's going to be a tsunami of Supernatural fans threatening suicide on the Strip.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe not that far,
I mean, if you think about it, I've never seen the show. I've seen I've never seen a full season. I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but 15 years. I mean, 15 seasons. That's a lot. I mean, MASH only went 11. Married with Children only went 9. I mean, they went 15 seasons. That's pretty freaking good. And I think without actually, like I say, watching the entire season, but listen to Mess talk about it and how Super loves it and everything. Maybe they just want to get out why the going's still good,
and
so that they're not dragging it.
Well, and that's
drag it.
That's a big. big thing I wanted to. Okay, so Jensen and Jared, you're the Dean and Sam, your main characters on the show, are extremely good friends with Stephen Amell from Arrow. They film on the same lot. They play jokes on each other all the time. They mess around with each other all the time. And Stephen Amell announced Arrow's last season is next season as well. Do you think that may have played some part in it? It's like, hey, if that fun ship is already gone,
I think that the reasons for ending it are very different. I mean, I saw this coming. I honestly thought this was going to be the last season of Arrow. Amell has been tweeting for the past couple years about how frustrated he is every time he goes out to be cited as nothing but the Green Arrow. And he gets annoyed at fans that talk to him on the street. I mean, not all the time, but it's like when he's out and he just wants to be in the moment and be Steven, and to have people drunkenly coming up to him all the time going, Oliver, it's Arrow, take my picture,
Once again, like I said, it was the weirdest thing. We were walking down the main street in the gas lamp at San Diego Comic-Con, and Stephen Amell walked right past me and Big Papa Matt.
Yeah.
Nobody was saying anything to him. Nobody, and I realized it afterwards, but I hadn't watched Arrow yet at that time or anything. So I was like, that's the dude, that's the Arrow guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's when you play a character for that long, it's hard to be known as anything else. Jensen and Jared have been doing this for 15 years. I'm sure that they're excited to get out and do other jobs. But yeah, like
maybe, I don't know. We'll see what they were. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of questions at Vegas about this.
If I were to meet Jensen Ackles, I would be able to say, okay, yeah, you're Dean Winchester on Supernatural, and also you were in season 2 of Dark Angel, I think.
Yeah, he was Dark Angel.
Jared?
Yeah. Jared was good.
Jared did House of Wax. He did.
Yeah, there's a stellar resume.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad.
But also, after 15 years of writing. After 15 years of writing, how can they possibly come up with more stuff? But you run out of ideas. At this point, I'm tired of seeing them in conflict with Lucifer. It's tired. It's old.
Oh no, that storyline's got to go.
Let me bring in some of these comments in the chat room, because there's been some great stuff. We were talking about Vegas Con happening and all the weepy Supernatural fans that are going to be there. And it's, not making fun of Supernatural fans. It is a big part of the fandom. And it is something to, like you said, you broke down. There are going to be people breaking down crying. This is 15 years of their life.
I actually couldn't go on social media. It was literally people just,
there are going to be fans that are like 18 years old right now, and it's part of their family. It is their family time of sitting down and watching Supernatural together. So this is a huge, huge thing. So we're not making fun of people saying that they're going to be weeping and crying. Jack does have some great comments with it, though. He says, announcing this news now, they want to cause a riot, and they're going to hold Vegas hostage. Give more seasons, or the slot machine gets it.
Yeah.
And Paulie makes a great point of, like you guys have said, you end a show while it's still good, so you have good memories, not when the show is spent. And I agree.
Better to go out on their own terms than get canceled.
Always better to go out on.
Hopefully this means that they'll bring Rob Benedict back as Chuck. That'd be great.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They'll get some fan, cameos, flashbacks, all that good stuff. But
yeah, okay. So that's what I'm wondering is are we gonna get? They already tried to do the spinoff once, and it didn't get picked up.
They tried multiple spinoffs. Neither one worked.
They have. Okay.
The first spinoff they tried from season 9 was absolutely awful and did not deserve to get picked up. The second one still has a chance. We'll see now that they know for sure.
Now they announced this. I mean, that gives it a better. You want
Wayward Sisters might get picked up. Most of the cast is still available. The only one that's got a real, I don't want to say real career, because they've all got careers, but the only one that's really taken off is the girl that played Claire. Catherine Newton. I mean, she's doing movies with Julia Roberts. She's in the Detective Pikachu movie, doing one of the voices. She was in Big Little Lies with Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon. I mean, these are not little roles that she's picking up. These are big, she's definitely on the rise. And personally, I would not mind seeing Wayward Sisters picked up with just her coming in and doing a few guest spots. They don't need her. If the CW was worried about paying her salary, she does not need to anchor the show. You've got Donna, you've got Jodie, You've got Alex. You've got that annoying psychic girl that I don't like. You know, other people.
It's an interesting time for when it comes to CW because they're starting to lose their shows. I mean, even just earlier today, they were talking about the fact that The Flash had some of its lowest ratings since it started. Are they possibly the next show to go?
Because they need to stop doing Grodd episodes.
Yeah, but no, that's the problem. CW is now stepping into a spot where it's rebooting everything and spin-offs, and then their big things are coming to an end. Arrow's ending. Now Supernatural is going to be ending. So,
they're starting the second round of DC stuff, though. With
Well, they got Batgirl coming out.
Birds of Prey.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's ending. I Zombies ending. I mean, it's just everything is ending right now. That it's like you got to figure there's going to be some type of spinoff for Supernatural, or they're going to try and get some type of spinoff just to hold that fan base, because otherwise, it's going to be time for a lot of this fan base to start going either just re-binging old stuff or starting to find new shows and new networks to go look at stuff that's
just based on a ratings point of view. Black Lightning's still really good. Charmed is not doing well. Legacies is okay.
But Charmed got renewed.
It did get renewed, but it doesn't have very good ratings. I think they got renewed out of sheer stubbornness because the CW doesn't want to admit that it made a mistake. Legacy is
I still give the props for that, because Fox wouldn't do that. Fox, the previous management of Fox before being owned by Disney wouldn't do that. They wouldn't put something on longer just to prove that they didn't make a mistake or to give it another chance.
CW was stubborn.
Yeah, and I because it's too many times once we've had with Fox, one season and done, and it's some of the greatest stuff that could ever been.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, our producer made a good point. The CW itself is struggling. I mean, as I was saying before about The Flash, they're also talking about that with Supergirl as well. So all their major shows that people know CW for right now are either leaving after the next season or they're being talked about as far as being canceled. And I get that they are trying to bring new shows on, but I've never seen in my lifetime a network or any type of channel who's had a number of episodes of shows that actually did pretty good all bail at the same time and they're reboot. I mean, that's like just selling off CW and just calling themselves a different name and starting all over.
Yeah, it happened before, but it was to the UPN and then to the WB.
Well,
but those are what became the CW.
Yeah, UPN got bought out by CW, and that's so I don't know. Maybe there's was it strangeness happening in front of the Circle K.
It's going to get bought by.
I don't think The Flash is in trouble. It had a couple low episodes, but overall this season's been doing fairly strong. Supergirl, on the other hand, has been struggling. They've made casting changes. They've made storyline changes that people are not okay with. The things I was watching the show for are no longer there. I'm not getting my good Jimmy and Wynn storylines. I'm not getting Alex as a strong character. I'm getting a storyline where everyone who knew Supergirl was Supergirl had their memories wiped. So even her own sister doesn't know who she is. And that dynamic is gone. Martian Manhunter, the greatest thing about the show, is now taken out of his role as a government agent and he's a PI. What is that? That's garbage. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch.
I need to catch up on Supergirl, apparently.
You know, so it's not working for me at all.
It brings up that people are tired of the superhero stuff, that they've milked it to death. TV shows, the superhero genre has gotten played out, and you need something new. And CW is going to continue milking it because they got the Batgirl series coming out, and that's where it's going to go. It was interesting to see Supernatural announce this now right before one of their biggest conventions, and it to come on the heels of just a few weeks prior the Arrow announcement. It's interesting. It's really
to me that makes sense when they do it right before their conventions, because now technically they have 2 conventions left. And you already know next year's is going to be already sold out the minute they do it. So making this announcement now, if they were having hard ticket sales, which I'm sure they weren't, but if they were it's now officially sold out.
Jack, I hope you are 100% correct, because he says maybe they'll replace SBN with Constantine. That would be awesome.
No, that was already being talked about.
They already talked
Constantine
about doing a new Constantine series, but not necessarily on the CW. But that would fall
it would
right
make
in
sense,
place.
because his response to being on Legends of Tomorrow is rejuvenated that whole series, and people are loving it. So I would not be surprised at all if they spun it off with him.
I mean,
unfortunately, Keanu is not available.
Matt Ryan isn't as dreamy looking as Jared and Jensen, so I don't know how many people come along with that.
You know, he's got that rugged Mark Crowley or Mark Shepard, excuse me.
I
type.
hate this Constantine. I don't like him.
You don't like Matt Ryan?
Not even a little bit.
Matt Ryan is just like the Constantine from the comic books. He is like more Constantine than Keanu was a terrible Constantine.
Yeah, sure. I don't like Matt Ryan.
Oh,
just my opinion.
But Matt, he does it. He does all of it. He does all the cartoons are Matt Ryan as well doing
I
the
know
voice for Constantine. I disagree.
I'm just saying that's my opinion. I disagree. Probably
You're
wrong, but I don't like it.
Even the producer says you're wrong.
Yeah, she says all kinds
of stuff.
He
always says that. That's our cast. Let IC know. Let him know is IC wrong about who is better, Keanu or Matt?
I never said Keanu was better. I just don't like Matt Ryan.
You want Nicolas Cage to play Constantine. That's what you want.
And there's the drop. There's the drop.
You set it up. I had to do it. You dirty dog. Yeah. That's the show.
Wait. Nicolas Cage.
That's the show. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, your thoughts on any of the subjects we talked about. Please let us know if IC Zoro is right or wrong. You can go on a diatribe about it if you want. We'll send it out to the Twitter sphere of every single person complaining about what IC had to say about Constantine. Totally. Yeah. With that, let's talk about where to follow everybody. Masonic Vader, where can people follow you? And if you have a hashtag of the week to interact with people for the next week, go ahead and drop that as well.
Follow me, Masonic Vader on Twitter, Masonic Vader 71 on PlayStation. No, I don't have a hashtag just yet. If I come up with something here in a minute, I'll let you know. But wouldn't it be awesome to see Nick Cage play Death in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3?
No, because I like the guy that played Death. Bring him back. Not dead. Have him play Death.
He should still be around. He was their bass player. Yeah.
So, I see. Where can people follow you and hashtag if you have one?
At IC Zoro on Twitter, Instagram, and PlayStation Network. And no, I don't have
super.
Hashtag Matt Ryan is the bomb.
Matt Ryan is the bomb. IC is wrong.
Way too long.
Yeah, I know. Super. Where can people follow you? And if you have a hashtag for the week?
My Twitter handle is at Superrubian Nut, and then my Instagram is at Superrubian Freak, so you can come follow me on there. Always, usually always good times happening, at least on Twitter. And then my hashtag for the week probably would be Stranger Theories, to talking about the Stranger Things trailer and what do you think is going to be happening for season 3. And will we get any surprise cameos? I would love a surprise cameo.
Awesome.
Nick Cage is Constantine.
No. That was a joke, but I see was talking about it so much that I had to. I apologize. I don't even want to see that mess. I'd rather have Keanu back. Head over to malice-corp.com. While you're there, if you click on the Amazon link, if you're going to be purchasing something from Amazon, go there first, click on the link, whatever you purchase, help you still get it for the same price, but we get a little bit of kickback. It helps us out, helps us keep the website going, helps us keep all this going. And you can also follow us here. Make sure to hit the follow button up above if you're watching on Twitch. If you have Twitch Prime, click that subscribe button. It's free to you, but once again, you do help us out and you help us keep funding this to get some better things going here. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at @mest_MaliceCorp. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at mest5150. Hashtag of the week. I'm new into watching Supernatural. I just like to see kind of what the show meant to people. So if you find me on Twitter or on Instagram, give me favorite. Good Lord, farewell SPN, hashtag farewell SPN, and just let me know what it meant to you or your favorite moments watching it and stuff like that. So because I like seeing those fan appreciations towards something. So yeah, that's my hashtag of the week. With that, that's the show. We'll be back next Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to talk all things nerd here on Twitch, twitch.tv/MaliceCorp, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, West Coast. You guys keep nerding on, and we will see you later.
1, 2, 3.